So the commission is a statutory organization. We do have such organizations in some states like Haryana and all. It is called Haryana Kisan Ayog in Haryana. But that's not a statutory organization like the way ours is. In our state, it has been accorded a statutory status because by an act of the assembly, this organization came into being. So this is a very different kind of an organization which functions like a bridge between the government and the farmers. And we have several ways of intervention. But one of them which I think is very important is in the introduction of new crops or crops that have more commercial value than the ones that we are currently growing in our state. So it is in this context that buckwheat comes into picture because of the natural advantages that our region has for cultivating buckwheat. In the conventional Khasi and Jaintia Hills, the plateau, we have seen this particular plant called jarine which grows in the wild. The one that we grow for commercial purposes is related to jarine, except that this has a bigger seed and which is available for market conditions, the kind of size that market demands. The regular jarine also has some seed, but it's very tiny and it is not the species that we grow. It is a different species altogether. In fact, it all started 2 years ago when one of these scientists from the Indian Council of Agricultural Research from Almora, so they do grow some buckwheat there. They have agreed to give me some 20 kilograms of seed. So Dr. Arun Patnaik is a person. So he came down and then he said, this is something which you should try out, and then he gave me 20 kilograms of seed. And that we planted. We didn't want to give it to farmers because we don't know really whether it will work or not. So we just handed it over to our Krishi Vigyan Kendra in Upper Shillong. We asked them, you try it out, whether it will really work.
Kong kanika kiviki ke jangi padela walam la nila wan ra uni buckwheat hoslam ajar arpo ling ba jangi director jangi badan ka to por ha ngila persang uni bak ban thung uni buckwheat haubnai march ajar arpo ngi ka jing mi bha ka jang u ka jing sintiu bha reling ba ka jing wan jang ka to ka typhoon amphan kini sintiu kla du no ma ka jing jur pala jang slam bat ni khme yo phau sambai la niu to Shillong bangin yo ban buat sambai pada dia habnai August ngi la yo khandiat uni buckwheat tinang tu pat ngi sedang biang ban thung yu buckwheat ban rap biang kum ka recommendation la ni ka jing patha jong ka ni ka BPKS Almora ngi ong ban persang ru habnai February ngin pet ulang kumno tingi persang habnai February habnai ka pratrik banai February ngi la rap biang u hawa jar arpway pat kum ju ru habnai March ka pratrik hi ajar arpway tingi sedang ban compare kan ni ki plots kilang kumno Wangi rap habnai February, but wangi rap habnai March. Bangila nujor kini atli ki plan, ikini ki atli ki jing rap ki jangi ngi iba ki ba rap habnai March kham baha bani uni rap habnai February. Ya kata germination la ni ki jing spek jong sambar ka kham baha habnai March. Nang ta kani ki jing Jalan jong kasngi pat ka kham bun habnai Feb habngi job habnai March ki pen iba uni jing thung bangi thung habnai March ka kham pha shibon bai buna bangi thung bangi thung habnai Feb lang ba kani ka jing I jong sa ki en kumar kani ka jing rap ki jangi la ni ka jing thung ki jangi uni ja jing thung ha kapor banai March I ka jing mi bha ka jong u ban I kalian ka jing pliu jing bat biang ka jangi la ni ka discussion bakum no bangi la pat ban rap yang u kat kom kani ka recommendation ni ka jing patha na ka BPKS Almora bangin rap ni u habnai August nang ba ngila ban pen Ndai tam bangin rap hapok ka wiki ka jangi re bangin rap ru ki jaka jong ki nang rap la ni kita ki lengkha la ni ki per jong ki nang rap ti lengba jong kani ngila la ban rap ru kamba sau e ka ki jaka jong ki nang ram ka badan hasmin ha tong mo siat khnam bat hapasang
ya kani ka jing thung ya uni u buckwheat la sedang da u Kian Kumar ti nang ta la penya chaprang pade da I Kong Lili belong I director jong ka agriculture department ha ka tu kapor klayat chwa da ka field trials ka makila le ki KVK East Khasi Hills anda kila penmi sembai na po KVK ngin thayo ban sam ya kini kinong rep menta ka jing thmu jongi kalong bangin thung ya new buckwheat baning kong ba kan keu ka jing yo ka roi ka kot ha kani ka jela ka jongi
So parallelly, at the same time, we also gave some seed to another farmer just to check at Umtong, just to take the risk relating to that. And this was a failure because they planted in the month of June, late June or July, and that was also a season when there was an unexpected cyclonic storm, and then that spoiled the whole crop. Actually, the crop was damaged because of that. So we were a bit disappointed. We lost some valuable time in the process. But the Krishi Vigyan Kendra, whatever we have done in Upper Shillong, that gave us a reasonable hope that this plant can grow in our state. And then they did successfully harvest, and then they came up with a reasonable quantity of seed. Then once we were confident, then we picked up not much, just about 4 acres area, but that was split among about 25 farmers, 25 to 26 farmers. So we gave smaller quantities of seed to all of them, and then we requested them in different locations. There are about 6 to 7 locations where these trials were conducted.
Nistang banya rung ski department jongga agriculture ban ya kendu ya sar KN Kumar kata kapor danglong komisioner jongga agriculture ban hagan kesendam acak kendai polawan ban simti kum serman jongga farmers commission nyilaya kendu nyilaya keren nyilaya perkap bad u sepangga rep kaki hagini gitan kicaka jongi bad dai hanu numumbar ar car khat kendai hagbala penlong yaga north east food show angte ba Shillong bad kata kapor u KN Kumar bad we u representative na Bangladesh Organic Limited ula ai chimut yangi sapang kumno ban rep yeu Buckwheat dan niu caran mengkhot hak tin khasi bat bakumnu kia yeu kadon hak perthai bat kumnu long hak bajadai bat kakot khia ting sngok men sibune te namar kata hak te kepor ngilaya sanru ya ka memorandum of understanding bat ka Bangladesh Organic Limited habinyo ban sedang ban thung yeu ni chingthung UKN Kumar lawan nyalam ru arut scientist na Almora jibadai research sangtei sepang ni chingthung te hanus nem archar khandai how March but how April but May nyeleyok ban thung yunu chingthung rei hakta snem ru ngi bo long pha rei snewbok namar ba chingwan linchop jongga eryong ampan angkat bot pria paro kila culor lut batang iwe sembai ru nyimdon rei wala katar ngi manthaj yui hakniga brai bladep chumta wat snem archar arpue how Agos Lifotrik nyui ka artikel ke bau KN Kumar tho Shillong Times bat kate dai ba pensilu ringi bangin simbiang sai sen ke sencam bantung yemi chungtung barang ni kesdem dai ka kebiki ka lawan ra inu sampai bat lawan batai ngi kumno bingin tung kumno bingin penbit penbiang ye gini ki lengkha ngi hadu bun dolong kumni kumbau long ta bat ngi sungu sibun ya paro ki baidon benta ki ba ai cimut yangi ki ba batai yangi ki ba pensilu ringi
ngi sedang bantung ini Buckwheat kolong bangi suk ban tung namar ba ngi nong trai ngim na ngam e sibun ka ba halang ban thok khambat ni ban ai khandau e kum to ngi tang adap thung ngi la shui be kum to hadu ba on nam man khat
dai pada u tu ujaran uba mi saklau sebetap mo uba ngi ai sniang ndai udai utu ujaran uba ngila ban penon kam ha ka ban sna ya ki jingbam ki chat jingbam kum kitu ki noodles ki haki rukam ki babun cai anda kila penwandur haki rukam baper ya kata ngalalap hida kacing sisharu bawat ya uniu jaran uba mi hi shani seklau ruang ulong ubayarap haya kanika cingpang dai betes ki jushat ya usla ya utu udiang bat ya usla ki jushat bat ki jubam kitu ki badan ya kacingpang dai betes ki ong ba ki snow ba ka met ka phat ka sting te nginget skamba unile udai ujing thung ubla kham kerpang uba ka sorkar kala itu nginget skamba udai udawai uba kerpang bha na ka benta kini ki brio bayo ya kani ka cingpang sini
simpor uneu Buckwheat namar tangar posngi ula posntiu ndala da posntiu tangkat tu kani lami sembai ndala da bi sembai pat hadin kani ngin sa persyang ban ot tena office ke kila ong yang ngi dai ban persyang ban bu ya ngap lengbau neu ngap kin sakti da neu Buckwheat hadin kata pat unyo cingbam neu Buckwheat kin sayo cing mentoi baro arliang na Buckwheat unyo cing mentoi na ngap unyo cing mentoi.
Now huge potential across the world for buckwheat because it is seen as an anti-diabetic food and it has very low gluten content compared to rice and wheat, which are the staple foods across the world. So there is a great interest in buckwheat from that perspective. So the world over it is seen as a superfood and protein-rich diet. So people are asking for it in larger quantities now. The demand in the country is picking up.
Ni ujat buckwheat la ni ujat jaran ni bangi wan ra ni kapor menta ude tau variety Phagopyrum esculentum. Te uni ude ta u jaran uba ngila ban pendekam kumu atal se ban ngila ban penmi ikini kijing bam ke per kamtam le hakini kijaka jongkari India ke jongi baki penan kam ikini. Yauni ruki penan kam ha hakiwe ki ri jongka perthairu kum ke Japan, ke China, ke Russia ki penan kam yauni u jet jingthung buckwheat. Kau nak kijing mentoy bau don uniu jaran kalong ba tekila sentio ki kring ya kini ki kenyang bagi ki kenyang kum ulesi kum ungap bat ke start sense ki shem bakani ngap ko ba pemi na ungap uba yo jing bam ling ba uniu jaran kalong ko ba do kata-kata te nolong kataru ki don lang kini ki thabali ki don lang hangta baki yo ban bam ling ba uniu jaran kani let's say ke jing sedang menginrap uniu jaran hakini ki caka ki jongi hakithan kani ke East Khasi Hills bat ke Jaintia Hills bat ki Garu Hills su hakajela ke jongi kalong ke wei niki nuksa let's say bonon ra ya kata ka jingyo ya ki para nongrep ki jongi bakin yo khambha haka jingyo lingba ka jingdie yuni u jingthung haki snam ki banwan
ka farm ko jongi bat kumjuru apo ka lingkha ju kinong rep ngilap ba uni ujaran utan ka bor ban khamile ko balong u khamban khamile persya lani ban penduna bahaya kini ki ikan bat mar ki ikan bat haka jela ko jongi kidai ki nong shun ba hakmat do haka lor karep karyang ki batu ya ka bang ya ko kum ter kum ke jingsiam ko jongi la pio yang ni lendat udan ujaran mentau bala pu sentiu namar ka jingreban jong u ba ka jingklo jo uban mi ki kenbat kim yo abor ba kim yo lat ban khe te ha kani ko kom ngila ban penten kam hok ya kasbo jo kan ndo nalor bangim ju ai ya kita dawai karkhana namar ngi penten kam tang kasbo mariang kum kasbo jingri sbo masi ngila ban consider lan ngila ban yo itu ya uni jingthung kum tau jingthung organic te kataru kali kwe naki kemat la si ki bangila ban ya perkhat uni jungbam u ba mi nang ni ude u ba khoj ba temen ubam dan kanu ka ba kanjabi bala ande naki dawai karkhana.
So I see 2-3 potential uses of this. One as pure seed, there is market for it. Second is converted, the processed flour. And third is the value-added products like buckwheat cakes and noodles, etc. So many other items. And the fourth is the honey. I see at least 4 items coming out of this particular 3-month-old crop, and it is not a very highly demanding crop also. It doesn't take much time to produce. It grows very fast. So these are all advantages which are suitable for our kind of conditions. I would say that we should produce large quantities of buckwheat in our state without disrupting any of our cropping cycles, because it actually fits that small period, that small window which we have between 2 seasons, between 2 cropping seasons. We can always go for it. That will give greater value for us. How can we double the farmer's income with the same land, with the same crops? We have to come up with something new, and this is one big idea which has hit us of late. And already we have produced about a ton of seeds, maybe a little less than that probably, and that will be distributed to the farmers. By next season there will be more farmers and there will be more area expansion.
Today's workshop is about making all of you aware about what buckwheat is, how does it look, how to grow it, so that you will, as extension functionaries, even our farmers friends who are working with farmers, as extension functionaries, you will go out and carry this message.
Kawit nila akan ay gijiri-jiri na blok ng talat, hindi nila kantaan, nila diru na beri-beri kantaan.
ki perang rap ban kentu hi ba uni jing ban rap ini tung namaru jing motoi syayangi bat caka rap ke ba ya ba ngin isara ngi tung ni kan kanang ba ngila ban mi pisa kanang ba kentu su kam rap ke jungi ya ba rap kumni ngai yo i ba ulong ni sumbai ulong ba ya hap sini bat bangi bangi rap ni katan jungi ngakmi ilti hi ni snem banwan thi buat hi trai ki wai ki perang rap rukin salak ban ya simentalang ban rap ini
ngit kham ba ngin sanang yo khambun ke jing mentoi bat khambun ke jing tip ru bat ngin la ru ban sam saki wei pat ki paranong rap ru ya kini ki sembai lada le si ngin la yo khambun ngi la ban sam lam ya ki la ru ban persang namar kat kum ke jing sngo jonga nga syamba uni ujaran ong ulong basuk bahaban rap ka kaduna kabor trai bor kta namar ka ba e bha menta ka dai ka trai ka kta hi lada ka khamduna pat ngi sngo ba ka kham suk ka kham aram bat kat kum ke jing sngo thu jonga ru sngo ba uni u buckwheat ulong uba kham rem bha ka dor ulong kum ki kenja dawai te ulong kham rem kham tam nda kila pak kila si kila proses ka dor jong u ka kham rem bha
Cabar ke India, caki baiki setiap kicela, labuan bah kiba penan kami ni buckwheat, namar kiyo cing toy, kiba yo cing pang bapera uyarap yaki. Dia kumta para nong rap, kumui kibala persang, nginang penhai susu, hendai kiba nadia nong buat, kumui para nong rap ngin persang ban tray sistem ban yarap kenang ba ngiyo cing toy hadian habut, bangin laru ban supply caki wei pat kiri namar ulong baram dor.
Ban nyinyat jeruk bau ni cing tung, ulong wei na cing tung uman mi pli haga caka. Kacung kau, marlong way nau cimbam, bote ye gemet cungi, kam tam ni yang tua ke artikel botok, kalong ba, ni cung caran, umdon di sini, tidak malah kata yarap sibun ya kekot kekia, kacungi jibari huru. Bat karukom rep, kabangang siam, hari ini arsnem, ibang yang persang bantung ini cung, kalong basuk sibun ini, gimana don kam ban ais bawa sibun, ni sub proyek lain dan ni subet ru ulak banlong, ni ulong pa.
Balda, gila ban pelong kam ni cung, baba kau mati badi kedor kebakam biang. Ya singla ro ban hikal ikiwi kinong rap ani jaka bagru kenya persang lam makum kalau mata kinong rap ani pokson ji kerap sing bagum tau sing la sedang telot sang tu bor kom sesu atu kibrir pokson la sedang ban salia ban rap sing na baba kai ga bakimi ti kimyo bila si da kata ka jingwan jong ne sung thma da urlong kom kimenti ya si kibrir kila ban kenrea no ya si ban rap no sune u jat thong ne bokku le ne jaran kama kan kampen moto ya ka jingyo ya ka kamai ka ji ya ka harap karyang mako magilom tang ya rap ya kaju bangi jurap pat kita jigrap ni teng ke baji mun to syo pa hab roban persang ni patmai kana kan kersan ka ya yo akot haki except
my target is to reach at least 1,000 acres in a span of about 2 to 3 years time. And 1,000 acres would be quite good because now the yields are also dependent upon the kind of cultivation practices, agronomic practices that the farmers adopt. But with a little bit of motivation and a little bit of handholding and encouragement, in fact, the ones that we have already given to, they appear pretty confident. They feel that this is not something that is beyond them. They should be able to handle it. And market is not a problem because the Japanese would be interested, the Bangladeshis are interested. And there are, in fact, there is a standing agreement with a Bangladesh businessman, but which we had not been able to honor because of that cyclone which I mentioned to you last time. But they are waiting actually. So market is not a problem. I have a belief and a conviction that our farmers will do well, and this will be a very valuable addition to the range of crops that we are currently cultivating in our state of Meghalaya.